As of this week, The View has officially gone on hiatus. They're not canceled. They're not fired quite yet. No. We're just gonna let sleeping dogs lie for a minute. It's not like there's a bunch of stuff that we could theoretically be talking about right now. It's just, in order to just accommodate everybody's busy schedule, yeah, we're just gonna take a step back from being morning show lolcows. We got other things to do. We'll be back. Don't worry about it. Don't know when, but we'll eventually be back. So yes, The View announces hiatus from Disney Television days after Trump predicts the show's cancellation, calls Joy Behar an irrelevant loser. Hey, that's not very nice to be so accurate. Trump, boy, he's a busy guy lately, huh? When it comes to getting rid of shows and people that have made all of their content fundamentally anti-MAGA. Very interesting how that works out. Daytime TV's fiery progressive staple, The View, is hitting pause and going on a hiatus after a curiously charged moment. On the July 24th, 2025 episode, co-host Joy Behar, 82, boy, she doesn't have long if they're going to be going on hiatus to be taking that much time off, revealed with a sly glance off camera that the show is entering a hiatus after just one more broadcast. I'd imagine that would have been Friday, and now we are into the first week of silence. And here's the thing. I bet you didn't even notice that The View was gone. Before we go on hiatus, we only have one more show after this, she said, adding conspiratorially, I'm allowed to say that, right? Alyssa Farah Griffin chimed in with a laugh. Too late now. While ABC sources maintain that it's a standard annual summer break. Reruns starting July 28th and return post-Labor Day. The timing has conspiracy mills churning, especially following a blistering White House attack. Yeah, it's so funny, right? Like, oh yeah, we're going to take the next month off. We're going to have our own little summer vacation. But don't worry about that, guys. We're going to be back to break down all the goings on. This fall, it's going to be great, okay? Just the prior day, okay, July 23rd, the Trump administration fired off a statement via spokesperson Taylor Rogers labeling Behar an irrelevant loser suffering from a severe case of Trump derangement syndrome. I think that's fairly accurate, as opposed to the one that they made about South Park, which is like, okay, cool, that was a really bad episode with some really stupid plot points, but to call a show that just got a $1.5 billion payout from their company irrelevant, yeah, Trump, just let sleeping dogs lie and just go after a bitch. If that's what you want to do, just go for that one. Rogers didn't mince words, predicting on behalf of the sitting president that The View could be the next to be pulled off the air, amid claims of all-time low ratings. The salvo came after Behar's on-air jab at Trump, accusing him of jealousy towards Barack Obama and spotlighting GOP fractures over the Epstein files. Which, yeah, that's all accurate and that's all fair if you want to go ahead and do that, but in reality, I mean, if you're just going to continue to double down on all this fucking progressive babble that nobody actually likes, I mean, if you're going to get canceled and you want to call it a hiatus, that's fine. Doctor Who's doing the exact same thing, but when your other contemporaries are also going through a similar purge, not a real optimistic outlook on the future. Conservatives on social media erupted, with users speculating the hiatus is code for cancellation. One Facebook page even posted, "Make it permanent," as echoing the president's sentiments. But the plot thickens, with whispers within Disney, ABC's parent company. Back in May of 2025, reports surfaced that CEO Bob Iger and ABC News boss, Alman, that guy, urged the host to dial back their anti-Trump rhetoric and political commentary overall. Sources claim the panel, known for its progressive bite, wasn't receptive. Some outlets described them as being outright refusing to tone it down. Could this internal pushback have simmered into today's hiatus? Industry insiders speculate Disney might be eyeing a pivot towards less polarizing content to woo a broader middle ground audience in a fragmented media era. Well, yeah, to get anybody outside of the people that are just laughing at clips to watch this show, I mean, like, if you want to pander to woke white women getting their kids ready for school, I mean, like, if you want to take a hiatus in August, like, that's totally fine. That demographic, continues to shrink, and given the fact that, there's no election this year, like, even if you do come back from hiatus after Labor Day, you don't really have an immediate foothold that you can go ahead and take. So yeah, it's gonna be a long old time, because entertainment that's gonna be coming out, it's few and far between. So you guys are actually gonna have intelligent debates, and you're gonna have to knock around some non-Trump related topics. And well, there's probably a reason why you could be taken off maybe the rest of the year. Who knows? Because you're not the only show that's going to be, winding down here in the near future. I mean, you could go join, oh my Christ, I can't believe this, but it came out of Reddit, so I can totally believe it. You could go join, Stephen Colbert in his fight to push back against both Paramount and Trump, the evil man who got him canceled. It wasn't his dwindling ratings either. See, you guys have a lot of common ground there that you can go ahead and meet with because, well, Colbert has quite a lot of support. He had all of those other late night hacks appear in the audience to support him days after the move, a wind down the Late Show was announced. That May 2026 will be the end of an institution that reaches back to the early 90s. But no, it wasn't a political move. It was just simply a financial decision by the recently merged Paramount. They were tired of wasting $40 million on a show that just can't drive ad buys anymore. They're tired of supporting and floating a dead genre of entertainment. But hey, what do the fans have to say about this, okay? What if there is just this stalwart fan base that is out there that is just willing to follow Stephen Colbert wherever he goes into the future? Well, there's a show of support, a physical show of support. People have turned out and they tried to have their voices heard. It wasn't very loud because Colbert's support rally in New York City turns into a comedy of errors. 20 protesters show up to defend the late night king. Oh no, but on social media, everybody can just go ahead and say Orange Man bad. Colbert was the one who was pushing back against the establishment and my free speech, we need to defend my free speech, to pay him millions of dollars a year to just repeat the same Orange Man bad jokes over and over again for him to take shots at his parent company in a way that South Park can get away with because they're funny and irreverent when they do it. I still think that they go after softball issues like nobody else and they get way too much praise for it, but they can do it because they get ratings. You can't do that because you're not funny and nobody cares. In a twist that even Colbert might appreciate for its ironic punchline, a rally organized to support the embattled late-night host outside a CBS broadcast center in Manhattan drew a whopping crowd of about 20 people. The We're With Colbert gathering held on Sunday, July 27, 2025, was intended as a nationwide call for integrity amid claims that Colbert's show's cancellation was politically motivated. There's nothing to back this up other than Paramount wanted their merger with Skydance to go through, and my settlement about shady journalism from CBS ended up coming to light, and the settlement included, yes, a payout to Trump, because that's how settlements work, and Colbert taking umbrage with that and then realizing that, oopsie daisy, I've become superfluous. Yeah, instead it became a symbol of waning interest, with even the NYPD officers on site packing it up early as most demonstrators, dispersed after mere minutes. But honestly, man, you loop in The View, you loop in the rest of these late night talk shows, and you realize that studies show Colbert and late shows in general as a one-sided liberal love fest that got the boot. Yeah, nobody's watching this shit, man. The damning indictment of mainstream media bias. A new study has laid bare that extreme left-wing slant to the Late Show, with Stephen Colbert revealing the program hosted a staggering 176 liberal guests compared to one conservative since 2022. Holy shit. And it's so funny, right? Because The View, you could probably say that their guests, whenever they have them, there's a pretty staggering, liberal slant. And the one that got the most coverage recently was when Arnold Schwarzenegger, a Republican in name only, if there ever was one, when he just simply wouldn't say illegal immigration is great, all of those broads immediately lost their minds. It's wild. I would say that it's probably even more pronounced. So yeah, Arnie ran as a Republican, but I wouldn't call him anything short of just a full-blown liberal. During the 2024 season, I don't think they hosted anybody on there that could even be confused as being a conservative. But oh no, didn't Ted Cruz hop on there and just totally torture them? Okay, so there you go. There's their 1 to the 176. The lopsided guest list, coupled with plummeting ratings and Democratic voter approval hitting a 35-year low, demonstrates why CBS, ABC, NBC, all of them have decided to pull the plug on what has devolved into what many are calling little more than corporate-funded therapy sessions for progressives. Because, yeah, it's kind of like with entertainment right now, how it's not really getting much better, but when things are just overtly woke, when things are, pushing just this progressive agenda, people are about done with that stuff. They haven't been able to properly assess quality or anything approaching tolerable, but as long as it isn't in-your-face political, people will generally give it the pass. And when something like an Ironheart or The View ends up coming up in conversation, that is just so immediately offensive to any one of your senses that people just have this aversion to it now. They may have had it for years at this point in time, but now it is becoming so apparent and so readily accessible to everybody that, yeah, getting rid of these freaks is the first step towards healing. But it's far and away the biggest battle that has to be raised and waged if we're hoping to approach anything nominally acceptable in the entertainment or information landscape. So sayonara Colbert, sayonara The View. Perhaps you can have a better turnout of TDS afflicted soccer moms at your little protest outside of Disney headquarters. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.